Hi, you are listening to Defying Society and Embracing Faith with Holly and Marisa.
We will be discussing current topics and drama and how it all kind of correlates into our biblical faith.
Yep.
I'm going to do this. Sorry.
Speaking of biblical faith,
Uh-huh.
this past weekend we had a wedding to go to,
Yeah.
and it was a really nice wedding. And Danny and I were reading it, and I gave it a 10 because I thought the music was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
key.
if your music's not good at your wedding, like I am not having a good time. Like if I'm not out there dancing or jamming along, like it's not a good time for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So
What was the age range? Like, who got married? Not like you don't
it
tell me who
was
it was.
one of my stepdaughter's friends. She's
Okay.
24,
Oh, okay.
5. So yeah, around that age range.
Yeah.
But like
So the parents were probably pretty young.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're probably like, in their 50s.
Yeah.
So after I had like maybe like 1 or 2 drinks, actually probably like more like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it's a wedding. And I was, drinking, I think like Captain and Gingers or something like that. And then halfway through, you know how it goes. Like they always play the slow music first, like the Italian music and all that. And then like, I don't know, like after dinner, it's like game on.
Right.
So they started playing, some rap music and some, Machine Gun Kelly at
Really?
point. Yeah.
Man.
And then they played
That's a good
Eminem.
Okay.
Okay.
And shit went down.
Oh man. It was that Shake That song. I'm not gonna repeat into the lyrics, but I knew every single lyric. I mean, I like ran out.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't by myself. Yeah, by myself. And I don't know, there was like some other girl with like my age.
Yeah.
And her and I were like rapping at each other, because like I mean like that was like my like get ready song.
Yeah.
10 years, I don't know, 15 years ago, whenever that song came out, 10 years ago. And Danny was like, my husband was looking at me from afar, and then like the next day he's like, that was a very beautiful Christian replica that you just
rendition.
Yeah, rendition. He's like, I just loved how like your Christianity just like blossomed in that moment of Shake That Ass. Like that's great, Hallie. That's great. So like I'm like he wasn't giving me a hard time, like he was just making fun of me, whatever. But like I have the hardest.
But then you feel convicted after that.
Oh, I mean, like I was even feeling convicted before.
I always gotta come in there and
let me tell you that I felt convicted before I had my final couple drinks because I heard another rap song and it kept talking about the Bible. I don't even know what rap.
Oh, you mentioned that to me.
Yeah, it kept talking.
But it wasn't about the Bible. It was like making fun of it.
It was like making fun of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And then, but Get More Ass in a Toilet Seat comes on and I'm out there. But I always like I have like this standard over here and then this standard over here.
What it does to your yeah. Well, we were having this conversation. We had this conversation a little bit on Sunday when you guys were at our house for Pete's birthday. And I was like, I get it, right? I was at a wedding in December and, it was wild. It was my cousin's wedding. Cousins, they're like 30. And Peter was right there with me. Like, I didn't even feel bad because they're my husband, like,
getting down was dirty. Yeah.
But then we were talking. So I probably didn't help the cause with Danny because I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, no, but then I think after you guys left, a bunch of us were talking about rap music for some reason. Like, we just started talking about it. And then like how, we were talking about generations, how like our parents thought our music was like crap and they can't sing and there's no whatever. Well, like now we listen to rap music, we're like just mumbling and but really not talented.
No, they're not. They suck.
So we're all like 90s kids.
Yeah.
These 90s kids talking about how good the rap was. And
it was good.
Yeah.
That was good rap music back then.
Right.
Yeah.
But then we all agreed. So it was me and another Danny.
Yeah.
But then all the like husbands and whatever. And it was like, if you listen to the albums, not the hit records, they're actually really nasty. Really, really nasty. Because I remember I was listening to like Biggie, and I'm like, not the ones that were on the radio,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, my gosh, I used to like, I mean, there was no regulation on the music I listened to. My parents wouldn't even have thought of it, I don't think. And I didn't understand probably most of it either, but it was bad.
Yeah.
I'm talking like violent,
Yeah.
very like
Not even just Biggie, but like I don't know, it's more than Biggie. Bone thought
you wouldn't think Biggie because he was so mainstream by the time he was, same with Tupac. They kind of the music that came out on the radio,
it was
mild compared to what was actually out there. Ice Cube.
But with that even being said, so like my background, I grew up listening to rock.
Yeah.
I listened to heavy metal. So I went through my whole like grunge phase of rock and roll. And then like I would take it back to like the 70s with like Led Zeppelin and like all that. And then like, just up until recently, I was listening to like basically heavy metal.
Yeah.
All right. And like I've been to like so many rock concerts and, I have my friends in like mosh pits.
Right.
And, just very like I look at it now and I'm like, dude, like it's like
I've had a hard
worshiping Satan. Like, I mean,
like heavy metal.
Like heavy metal. Like, yeah. I mean, and I loved it. Like that was like I would just get off of work and put on my heavy metal and listen to that my whole driveway.
Isn't that interesting? Like Pete would work out to it, and I'm like, dude, this is so annoying. Like I would be like, oh my gosh, how could you listen to this? Like, it's just I couldn't. Like everybody's
different. But I like rap. I like metal, and but that's what I grew up on. Like I just loved rock and roll for some reason, and now. Like, I have my one guy friend who asked me if I wanted to go to a concert with him to something that we used to go listen to all the time in high school. And I'm like, I don't know if I can go.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very convicted.
Yeah.
And I even went as far as looking up like Christian rock bands. And actually, there's quite a few. There's probably 10 or 12 that I know of that are mainstream today, like that everyone else would know too.
Yeah, that started off.
That they're still Christian metal bands, but you wouldn't know that.
Okay.
Like, because they have
metal bands.
Yeah. Or, rock bands. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't know that listening to them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. So, I just feel like something changed because a couple years ago, remember we talked about this during one of our Bible studies, like, years ago, and we were all kind of talking about how, I think it was with Anna, too. Like, we were all just talking about how music wasn't really convicting us at the time.
Right.
But like now, like I feel like the closer I get to God, the
harder it is to listen to.
Yeah. Or the more awake I am, because even if I'm in the gym, like I don't have any control of the playlist because I go to Orange Theory, but like all like, praising like Judas and if I actually listen to the words, I'm like, this is not good stuff to listen to.
What's interesting is I go back to listen to old songs that were very innocent.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No.
Like they're really not.
Sing and all that.
He came up on the playlist the other day because I was playing 1984 hits because it was Pete's 40th birthday. And I was like, you're right though.
Yeah.
He's one too. That I'm like, I listen to things differently now. So probably that's,
Yeah.
It is really interesting.
Well, and then like the feeling that you get at concerts.
The energy
level. Like I said, like with rock concerts, it's more like mosh pits,
right?
Where people just, I don't know, the crowd breaks open and everyone just kind of starts like,
I've never been
fighting. Like, I don't know,
right?
It's not even fighting, but just like pushing each other around. And
that was big,
in
the late 90s.
Yeah, and the crowd surfing and like a lot of stuff like
Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Was that was like in middle school? You were
but like
that kind of started.
And then, I don't know. It's just, I'm just having a really hard time lately. So
there's a Christian version or whatever of every genre. It seems like punk rock, and I know that Pete liked punk, and he listened to like Christian punk, back in the day. I never cared then.
Yeah.
But the amount of hip hop artists in the Christian community is like insane, and it's so good.
It is good.
It's so good.
It is good because I'll tune into it sometimes, and like now I I really try to listen to worship music. So
Yeah.
that's like more like uplifting.
Right.
Because I don't know how good it was to be listening to like heavy rock on the way home.
Yeah.
And,
It's like fun
it's
and
carrying like an energy.
it's yeah, definitely. Well, in the morning, I have a hard time getting up in the morning, and I wake up in this like 6:30 every day. It's the same story with me. It's never any easier for some reason. Okay. So I play really loud Brian T
Mm-hmm.
rap music. And by the time everyone gets out of bed and like is moving, everyone's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I do it to wake myself up, to wake the ones in the back of the house who don't want to move.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't feel as bad as I do when I like allow the other playlists that we have that are fun, whatever.
Mm-hmm. The
And
bad music.
yeah, because then afterwards I'm like,
Yeah.
And then Pete came in before you guys came over. Maria Louisa had a dance to this one song. Trying to remember what it is. Terrible song. And Pete came in and me and her were dancing. He's like, wow. Like totally disappointed. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta really pull it together.
Yeah.
I feel like the goal is to, as you feel less interested or more convicted, it just kind of wiggles its way out. It's hard when it's in your face all the time, or when your kids are starting to listen to music, more so like my oldest one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bennett really cares as much.
Mm-hmm.
My girls never got into Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They like the idea of it because all the girls are into it, but they're not like listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bring up Taylor Swift again because that seems to be a hot topic.
It is.
Because people are so offended by the fact that there are people coming out saying that her concerts are very
demonic.
Like people are defending it so hard. But
it's not that far off though. People like, remember the frequency, that satanic frequency of music? I think it's like 440 hertz.
Something, yeah.
Or
it's like all music,
like
really.
I know. And then like, I think there's like there's a key on a piano. I don't know what key it is because I don't play piano. But that is always set to 440 hertz when you tune it too. So like, I don't know, like there is something behind the music.
It could be agitating.
Yeah. And I mean, there was, what was it, like in the 1800s? Wasn't there some kind of symphony that like made the whole entire crowd riot?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I remember learning this, I think in like, I don't know, in high school at some point. It was some kind of like pop culture thing, but like, I don't know. I'll have to look this up. I should have looked this up before we started this. But there was some kind of symphony where everyone in the crowd that was listening like just got agitated and everyone just started fighting.
I believe it. There's a Drake song that my daughter puts on, and the beginning is like this humming chant. Mm-hmm. It is so irritating. She's like, "Why do you hate it?" I'm like, "It bothers me at my system." I'm like, "The song is gross." Mm-hmm. I don't know the name of the song, but it's at least 30 seconds of chanting, a weird sound chant type thing. Mm-hmm. It's probably a super popular song. I can't handle it. Yeah, I really can't. So I believe that there's a lot of stuff out there. Now, here's the thing, not to go back to Taylor Swift, but we all know at the Super Bowl, there's a video of her taking a shot with her friend, and then that
girlfriend was
Ice Spice, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
I don't know her name. Something Spice. Okay.
She had the upside down crucifix on, and she saw that the camera was coming on and that the girls were about to take a shot. And then it was almost like she knew to do these whole devil horn symbols or whatever. There is another clip, and I think I sent it to you, that actually is so bad because they didn't show this in mainstream. Okay. But it looks like it's seconds earlier, and you could see Taylor looking off and going like this, and then she's like, "Hey," and then they both grabbed the shots, and it was it was a total skit. Like it was a skit that they were taking a shot. They were purposely trying to do that to get the attention, or get like they were gonna build something off of that shot and the whole devil symbol. Yeah. It had to have been like, what the frick?
I don't know,
right?
Yeah.
And so if you see that, and you're a Christian parent, like, why are you denying it for the sake of sticking up for an artist? Like, I don't care about who she is and who she's dating. And I'm like, that stuff doesn't matter. It's like the symbolism is real.
Yeah.
And you have to be
just
living
like,
under a rock.
well, and just like another example of a band that I love, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks.
I know.
Is
I grew up
quote unquote a witch,
She's
which I mean, I don't know. She could be, but like still, like I'm not. I love her.
She was so
Defending her. I'm not gonna bow over and pretend like nothing's happening.
It's pretty. If you watch documentaries on her, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it sucks because same thing. My brother and sister are 5 and 7 years older than me, so I hit a few generations of music interest.
Yeah.
And that also was like, I love
like
that.
heartbreaking.
And it's like, ugh.
So I just think that there's like a level of like discernment that you should have, as a Christian. I mean, like, yeah, you can listen to Taylor Swift. Yeah, you can listen to Christian rock or, any kind of rock or rap. But I feel like you just have to have like that awareness of that Holy Spirit, and that it's, I don't know, for me, it hurts. Like now.
There's a lot of things that are uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So when we were sitting outside talking with the guys, I really, like, I grew up on the hip hop and the rap music, but when I started to open my eyes towards everything, I started to see how sinister everything really truly was. And if you really start educating yourself on who these characters are, they're just characters. Like, I hate to say this because I love Tupac. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm trying to explain to my kids that like the type of rap music that Tupac produced was literal poetry compared to the garbage that is out there now. It makes you like, it was good music. That guy was an artist, but you know what? He wasn't a gangster. Smalls was not a gangster. These dudes went to like,
literally,
they went to like private schools for like the arts, and they were educated, and they were actors. And to be honest with you, I've seen some I mean, like the guys were making fun of me, like, you think Tupac's alive? I'm like, actually, yes. Okay. I'm not going to go down that road right now. We can always do something like this later. But they were characters in the big production that is, out there, and their purpose, because people will say, well, what's the point? The purpose, if you believe that there is racism and that there's populations of people who are repressed, then you should believe everything I say right now. They were planted to control the African American population.
Yeah.
They were filling the minds of young Black men with such negativity, violence, abuse towards women,
victimhood,
glorifying, being whores, whatever you want to call it. That was their purpose. If you want to see a population of people get taken down, you got to look deep. In my opinion, it hurts my heart for them, because that was the purpose of gangster rap, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe rap music started off like a type of music, and then they saw that there was a lot of pull in that direction, and that they could capture audiences. And so then they controlled it by like, I mean, you don't see any big artists.
Remember in 1993 riots with is it Rodney King?
Yeah, when he got beat up.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of went downhill from there. Should I not bring it up?
No, Rodney King's fine, but that also, I've watched videos that's.
Well, I feel like that's all staged. We'll probably start off.
Well, no, the 80s it already started. NWA was.
You think? Like Eazy-E was
that was pretty early. That was probably late 80s, early 90s.
Okay,
though.
I was trying to.
Yeah, I was late 80s. I don't think I
was trying to pinpoint like a time.
And NWA was putting out a lot of like violence towards cops type stuff, and then they put on these big productions on the news media about how this was destroying the nation and all this stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of hype. But again, now in reflection, I don't even know that could have all been on purpose for all.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then, I mean, if people really knew their history, yeah, there was a lot of clearly racism and segregation, but they took men out of their home. They took Black men, and they basically taught young Black men that it was okay to do all those things, and that was that was the life to live of crime or whatever. I'm not saying everybody,
No,
but
but
it's
limited.
and pockets and populations of people,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like that was a big part of
Why Tupac and Biggie and all of them were put into place.
yeah, they were actors for sure. They were for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Beyond those big ones, I'm not sure, you know, who was all planted, but it's
the more you wake up, the more you do feel like more things are planted on purpose, you know?
and then he dies out of nowhere. And like, even if you see the footage of the crime scene, it was just like he was wearing a different outfit and the one picture, like they claim like this one shot was his last photo. And then it's like, but that was a different outfit than the photos of him like slumped over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's another one of Kurt Cobain too.
Yeah.
That he didn't really kill himself.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah. I don't know.
He seemed like, if you watched interviews of him, he seemed like a good soul. Again, these are actors.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that Kurt Cobain is like
Weezer,
lead singer of Weezer? Or what's that one tranny that had a makeup line? It's a dude being a woman. Gosh. Really super
White
famous.
guy?
She's conservative.
It's
conservative, yeah. She's a conservative tranny, essentially.
Oh, I know you're talking about the blonde. What's his name? I don't know his name, man. What is
Why
that?
do you have these things ready? Because we kind of talk and then
What is his name?
find it.
I'm finding it. I don't even know what do you search? Blonde transvestite.
Conservative transvestite.
Man, Google is so bad. Is that him?
Yes. Who's that? Yes, makeup artist.
Jeffree Star. Okay.
So, what were we talking about? Kurt Cobain.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh wait. So like Kurt Cobain's Jeffree Star?
Yes. That's. If you could see some videos on that, which you might not even be able to find them half the time because it's so hard. It is the most interesting. It really is. I've heard Weezer. I've heard River Phoenix. Jeffree Star. Honestly, if you see the breakdown, it makes sense and it's shocking.
And then who's the other one? Trump to Elvis. That one is fun. That one.
How do you leave it?
Baby pictures of Trump and then baby pictures of Elvis. They look exactly the same.
I know.
Are they the same age now too?
Probably. And I loved Elvis growing up.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Oh yeah. Who didn't? I'm trying to think of who the other ones were.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
Yeah, that is.
So,
but anyway,
back to the music. I guess.
I just feel like a lot of it's just done on purpose.
Yeah. Well, also they can make money on these people by bringing them back as different characters, like Amy Winehouse and Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
The breakdown of their structure and their face. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You can go back and you could see some of these artists who died young or fell off or whatever, and then right at the same time you see another character come into the mix.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're just bought out.
There's
characters.
So much money to be made.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to put too much like I used to love music, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was like my thing. I just always loved music. And now I just have such a I'm pulling away from it. And I think that's God doing his thing, honestly. Yeah. And it's not even just music too. It's also, you know, movies and things that, you know, I used to enjoy and now like I don't.
Well, you know, they could be very like they're it's like a music it's trances, you know, you're repeating these verses and stuff like that, which can be dangerous. Movies, you're hearing and seeing things sometimes way too young, which I know I saw movies that I should have been watching. Yep. So my kids are like, you never let us watch anything. I'm like, you can't unsee and unhear things. You cannot unsee. Like, I can't stress to you enough. There's things that are in my mind that pop up. Yeah. That are burned in there.
Goodfellas opening scene.
Yeah.
That was, I remember watching that. I don't know. I was like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and I'm like, I remember.
So bad.
Yeah. Opening a trunk and stabbing someone 10,000 times. Like that's what I remember.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why I don't like video games.
Oh yeah.
It's like kills and shots and this and that. And they're like, they're running around shooting people.
Mm-hmm.
How is this okay? That a kid does that for hours every day?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, that's not even, I can't even watch that.
Hookers and
Yeah. I mean, I
and
feel like I'm some old lady. Like,
I know.
but listen, you got to be aware of all these things with the kids. But
He always makes fun of me because now I start talking about it more often, even with him. And you know that scene from Waterboy when the mom's like, "She's the devil."
Yeah.
It's like, that's you now.
yeah, totally.
I'm like, yeah, I
I always know I raised out. I'm like, that's totally me.
us now.
Or like when I reflect back on having friends, like not very many, but there were parents who didn't do the Halloween thing, who didn't let them listen to music, wouldn't let them watch 90210.
Yeah, because it's the devil.
Yeah, literally. And now I'm like, oh, I'm that mom.
Yes, now we are them.
But you know, kind of circling back around with the music, you know, you really enjoyed going to church and like the music part of it.
Yeah.
You know, so if you think about how much power that music has, even in a church setting, to kind of bring everyone closer and that's praise and worship.
Well, and have you seen the videos about people breaking that down too? Like how worship music isn't good and how it's secular and how
I mean,
it can be.
It can be.
I'm sure it can be, but my problem with that thought is it's still like praising my God, you know? Like, so I have for me, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see how it can be.
Well, they do. Like, I think maybe that has something to do with the fact that a lot of churches are putting on these like ridiculous concerts and showcases, and it's like missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
But praise and worship is supposed to like be almost like meditative.
Yeah.
And healing and like,
yeah,
you know, it's for you, God. It's not like, you know.
I remember the first time like it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Not supposed to be energy pulling and like,
right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and I think sound in general is healing. Like I play like a weirdo. I played certain sounds for my plants in the last spring because it's, you know, supposedly like the plants, like you can grow plants inside, but they want to like plants grow based on like the birds and the wind and all that, the sounds. So you're never going to get the same effect indoors as you are outdoors because of nature, you know, they need each other, you know? So if you think about just that, how it all works together, the frequencies from all those sounds, I think it's worth studying. I do have some sound frequency notes in my phone. Maybe that's something we can share on our Instagram page, like of the frequencies and what they mean and what they do, because you could go to sleep to certain frequencies.
Yeah.
You know,
but the thing too is like, you know, I don't want to be that person either that's like, oh, we shouldn't be listening to music. Oh, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing that. But like God gave us music to enjoy, you know, so like that's like another thought too. Like
there's positives, but the devil will
corrupt it.
Well, he was supposedly
a great
musician,
and an artist, and using the creative.
So that's why he
things
is that.
But you know, I don't know. I just feel like once like you are filled with the Holy Spirit, I think it just like chips away.
Then it's your responsibility also to push away from the things that aren't uplifting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, you started off with saying about the wedding. I've been down that boat.
Oh yeah.
Or I've been down that road, I should say. That boat. And it's a constant battle. It's kind of like cussing.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I'm so
it's along the same lines as that. It's like as it's coming out of your mouth, you're like, get back.
Would you stop?
Yeah.
Would you just control?
But I highly doubt that if you don't have a couple drinks, you're probably not going to be grinding and shaking your butt.
Well,
and stuff. You know,
that's a whole thing in itself. You could do a whole podcast on alcohol and what that does.
And we should.
Judgment. Yeah. And I absolutely think we should talk about that next time.
Okay. About
alcohol and what it does. Because I feel like if I did not have that alcohol, I wouldn't be out there on the dance floor dancing to shit.
It makes you loose.
Yeah.
It sure makes you loose. Yeah, maybe another one you could catch this week from us or next week we wanted to cover witchcraft and witches and stuff like that. I have such a juicy thing to tell you. I'll save it.
Okay, save it. About it. All right.
Okay.
Okay, guys. That's it for today. I wanted to talk about music and the good.
We have lots of thoughts too.
Yeah.
Some feedback.
You guys, we don't have any advertisers. We don't have anything really. We ask that people share our podcast, give us feedback. We have an Instagram page, we have a YouTube page, we have a Facebook page. We're on Spotify and we are on YouTube. Yeah, I already said YouTube. But we're hopefully going to get on Rumble soon, and we're going to get on Apple as well. So
far we haven't been in any trouble.
No,
That's good.
we haven't been canceled yet. So please share our message, share our clips, our podcast channel. We really, really appreciate it. And give us some feedback.
Yeah.
Give us some dirty comments or some good
Anything.
feedback. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Anything.
Good and bad.
All right. Have a good day.